The day Mira was handed over like a sentence instead of a human being, the sky above the village was cruelly clear, as if even the clouds refused to share her shame, and she stood there with her head bowed, fingers digging into the frayed edge of her shawl, listening as the village council declared her fate with voices that carried no mercy, no hesitation, only disgust masked as justice, because in their eyes she was not just poor but obese, unwanted, a burden her step-uncle no longer wished to feed. And when accusations of theft, never proven, only whispered, floated her way, she became the perfect scapegoat, an easy punishment, a living warning. So they gave her to Harlan Cole, the so-called poor farmer who lived beyond the dirt road where fields stretched into nothingness, a man people pitied for his silence and mocked for his worn clothes. Never realizing the land beneath his boots was worth more than the entire village combined, Mira heard the gasps and cruel chuckles when the verdict was spoken, felt the heat of humiliation burn her cheeks as someone muttered she'd at least be useful hauling feed, and when she was pushed forward with a small bundle of clothes and no goodbye, she believed, truly believed, that her life had ended right there, that whatever came next would be slower, harder, and lonelier than anything before. Yet as she walked beside Harlan's old wagon, she noticed something strange. He never looked at her with disgust, never measured her body with judgment, never smirked the way the others did. Instead he simply offered a hand to help her climb up, rough and calloused but steady, and said quietly, "Road's long. You'll be tired." Words so simple yet so foreign that her throat tightened because no one had cared about her comfort in years. The farm appeared after miles of silence. Not a shack as she'd imagined but a modest house standing strong against the wind, surrounded by endless rolling fields that glowed gold under the sun, acres upon acres that made her pause, though she assumed it was abandoned land or leased fields, until she noticed fences maintained, irrigation channels clean, barns stocked, animals healthy, and workers who nodded respectfully at Harlan, calling him sir when they thought she couldn't hear, confusion blooming inside her like a fragile seed of hope she didn't dare water. That first night she slept on a real bed with a quilt stitched by hand, ate a warm meal without being rushed or mocked, and cried silently into the pillow because kindness felt heavier than cruelty, harder to carry when you've been starved of it for so long. Days turned into weeks, and instead of punishment she found routine, purpose, respect, Harlan teaching her how to read crop ledgers, how to calculate yield, how to listen to the land, never once mentioning her size except to remind her to rest, to drink water, to eat properly. And when villagers passed by and stared, expecting to see her broken, they saw her standing taller, working smarter, eyes clearer, while rumors spread slowly like wildfire, about the quiet farmer who owned thousands of acres outright, about contracts signed with distant buyers, about wealth hidden not in gold but in soil and patience. And when Mira finally confronted Harlan, demanding to know why he let the world believe he was poor, he answered with a tired smile and said, "People show you who they are when they think you have nothing," a sentence that reshaped her understanding of power forever. Yet the past does not loosen its grip easily. And the same village that cast her out would soon come begging, unaware that the girl they discarded was no longer the same, and that the land they stood on, the future they feared losing, was now tied to the very person they once called a punishment. If this story stirred something in you, if you believe in quiet strength, unseen worth, and lives that rise when least expected, then stay with us, because this is only the beginning, and subscribing to the channel means you won't miss how Mira's journey unfolds, how justice bends, and how true power is revealed when kindness meets courage.